Hey guys, this is Big Louie from LOU2RETRO. Long time no see. Been very, very busy. On one hand, it's work. I actually lead 2 different departments and 2 different jobs at my work over the past 4 months, and it's been crazy holding 2 different people's positions simultaneously and trying to do well with either one, let alone the both of them. Meanwhile, the organization is going through an organizational transformation and change, so that's never easy on anybody. So, been very busy on that side. But on the same token, despite the mild German winter we've had, we've done a lot of traveling, and as you can see behind me, if you can see through the video games, we've amassed quite a bit of stuff during our travels all around Germany and all around Europe, really. So I have some notes here that just because I have so many different things to talk about. On this break of collecting, I haven't really been collecting a whole lot of stuff retro gaming related. I have been collecting other things around Germany. We have tons of steins and tons of other things. If you're a collector in Germany and you have a predisposition to collect stuff, being in Germany is the wrong place to be, because every castle you go to, every place you go to, they have different things to collect. And again, sometime I'll show you guys all this stuff that I have on that side, because you probably don't get to see it back in the States too much, but it is definitely a lot of stuff. So you see all the games on the table that I have upstairs, and there's really 2 main reasons that I have that. The first one is that I mentioned before that our basement is going to be getting redone or refurbished here soon. Well, the containers are starting to show up on the street, so very soon they're going to ask us to move all of our junk. So that's one reason. I just don't trust them I don't trust keeping all the games outside in the containers for an extended period of time and not having access to them and not knowing where they are, not knowing if somebody's going to steal them. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is I was looking up something random on Facebook the other day, and I happened to see somebody posted, I can't even remember his name, something Reggie, famous YouTuber, retro gaming YouTuber, had posted about this new app that was out for game collecting, and I had been looking for a game collecting app here recently, a new one that's a little bit better than the one I use, and this one's called Gameye that he was reviewing. It's a free download, and there's no additional stuff to buy, no additional purchases or in-app purchases, and I really like it. So that's the other reason I started bringing games up to start going through, just to switch over to this new app. And a couple of the reasons I like it is because I'm talking to the audience here, LOU2RETRO.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Louie is 13 now. So I started this without him just because I had so much stuff to talk about. And if he wants to talk later, he can get on and talk. Do you have something you want to say?
I like potatoes.
He likes potatoes. Okay. So we may have to edit that out. So the number 1 reason I like it is because of the sorting feature that it has. So you go in and you put your games in, and putting your games in is kind of interesting. You can do it manually, where you filter by the type of console or handheld, and then you find your game. Well, I think 99% of the games that I've looked for are in there. There are a couple that I haven't been able to find, but it gets them off of the gamedatabase.org or com, I think. So if you can't find your game, which I've only not found a couple, you could actually go into that game database and upload it, and then it should appear in your game list eventually. I haven't done that for those games yet, but that's supposedly the process. But so once you have your games uploaded, you can push on My Collection, and it'll sort it into the various types of consoles and handhelds by system, show you how many you own of the total number, which is an abstract number because I think for like NES it had like 1,800. Well, obviously that's like 2 times what there actually is. So I'm guessing it's putting, I don't know whether it's getting the other 800 games or whatever that, or 900 games that plus that are NES, but it's kind of a good start. But the really good thing about it is it shows a total value of the collection you have for just that console, which none of the other apps that I've found really capture that very well. So, for instance, Virtual Boy, I think we have like 10 of the 12 games, so that's nearly complete. So it's good to see your little bar go all the way up and show your total value. Now, the one thing it doesn't have is consoles yet. So, I think the guy that founded the company and built it had said that he's got the data in there. He's just trying to figure out how to capture that and present it on the app. So that's a good thing. So it's a really good app. I highly recommend going and trying it out. I mentioned the uploading of the games. So the other two ways you can do it besides manually adding it in is you can scan the UPC code, which is pretty highly successful, I found, especially with like the Master System games and the Genesis games and the GameCube games are really good at that. And even any of those CD type games that have that. I noticed that a lot of people will put barcodes for resale places over the original barcode, which is kind of a pain. So that's pretty reliable doing it about that way. I would say 90% of the time it's pretty spot on. You just getting the angle right and the lighting right. Once you figure it out, it's like scan, bam, it's fast. The other way you can do it is to actually hold up a game and it'll take a picture of it and it'll scan it and find it in the database. And you can narrow it down so it's easier to search by console type. And it says that is 90% accurate. I found that is not 90% accurate. I would say that's probably about 20% accurate. And it says, you need to have a contrast, dark table, gray cart, and good lighting, but not too bright. So I have not found a good way to get that 90% scanning function that they mentioned, but it definitely has possibilities when you couple that with the good sorting capability that it has. And additionally, you can export your entire collection as a list on email, or you can export it as a CSV file in Excel, which is awesome. I have a coworker. It seems like every place I go to, I find a coworker who's into video games, and I just happened to be walking through this guy's building, and he had a sign up saying that he does GameCube competitions on lunches like once a week. Hey, Sadie, you gonna say hi?
Hi, people of the world that are watching LOU2RETRO.
Yeah, I haven't done one in a while, have I? Yeah. So I was just talking about some stuff. So, let's hear what else. So that's the Game Eye app that I highly recommend going to check out. So why do I have the time? Here's the other thing, is I feel like I never have the time being so busy to talk LOU2RETRO stuff or do retro gaming stuff. My father-in-law, a couple of weeks ago, actually, we were on vacation near Austria, and we got a phone call, or a text actually. We were in one of these German, like slap dancing places. I know that sounds weird, but if you ever watch National Lampoon's European Vacation, Clark Griswold he puts on the lederhosen and he does this slap dance thing, and these kids were doing it in this bar, and it was hilarious. But we get this text that my father-in-law had a heart transplant, or was getting a heart transplant. So I got my wife back to the States, and there's our cat, a big fluffy cat. So my father-in-law was back.
LOU2RETRO, LOU2RETRO.
Yep. So my wife's back in the States taking care of my father-in-law. I'm taking care of kids and juggling kids over the past couple of weeks. She comes back in about a week. So it was a good month that I've had to, you'd think I'd have all kinds of free time, but doing the job and then juggling the kids.
Juggling.
It's hard work, let me tell you that, if you've never been a single parent or had to be in an environment where you've had just one parent taking care of everything that the other parent does for an extended period of time. So my hat's off to my wife for all the things that she does. That and coming up on Mother's Day. So I thank her for that. So I have all this time to do this stuff. And I wanted to take time this weekend to actually put something together and throw this out. And then I guess the last big thing that I could talk about is I get more free games from this thrift I don't want to call it a thrift store, a recycle store that's here close by, so I can rattle through what we've gotten here recently. So Need for Speed Underground 2 PS2, Guitar Hero Aerosmith for the Wii, PlayStation 2 Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2001, Hitman 2 Silent Assassin on the PS2. I played a lot of this game in the original Hitman back in 2003, I want to say, 2004.
We also have Boogie.
Boogie for the PS2, which we haven't played. And then this is called Buzz Junior Jungle Party, and I see the little controllers for this thing all the time at Goodwill's before we came over here.
I'm gonna go play Boogie.
Well, the PS2's not up here, sweetie. I see these controllers everywhere, so we'll have to get these just so we have them in case we ever actually did want to play Buzz Junior Jungle Party, which kind of gets into the whole, why do you collect games if you aren't going to play the games? That's an interesting question. I'll save for another time. But you know, if all else comes to the you can't pass up on a free game. I mean, it's free, so why would you not want to complete a little bit more of your collection for free, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think that's it for now. I can't even tell how much time I've spent. Only 11 minutes. It seems like I had tons more to talk about. So I guess since I have a little bit more time to talk here, let me just throw up. I'll do a quick zoom in here on some of the things that we've collected here while we're in Germany. Alright guys, so here is some of our Stein collection / stuff that we've acquired since we've been in Germany.
Yep.
We have a couple things that we like to get normally. Usually if we go to a castle or some cool city, we'll grab a stein that we see there. I prefer the older ones, but sometimes you just gotta get a new one. Like this one right here is sort of a newer one. It's kind of a more touristy type thing, but it was cool. We loved the castle. Had a good time there. And then we love these, there's a wicked glare there. We love these paintings that you can get, or prints of the paintings of the different cities. This stein right here is one of my favorites. It's pretty big. Here's a comparison. It's about, it's bigger than my hand. It's a giant stein, and it's really my favorite one. But you can kind of see some of the older ones. I mean, some of these steins I have are, I don't know, 40, 50 years old, I would say. This thing right here, this big thing is called a growler. You get beer in it, and that's another one of my favorites. That's King Ludwig, who does all the, you can see right there is Neuschwanstein Castle, which is like the most famous castle in Germany. We just went there a couple weeks ago. We've been there a couple times actually over the years. And some various just steins and stuff. Everybody's going to have a German hat to match their lederhosen. Yeah, nutcracker.
Lederhosen, not everybody. There's some girls in our family.
Yeah, well, if you're not wearing lederhosen here, you're supposed to be wearing dirndls, right?
Dirndls. Yeah. I have a dirndl and a purse.
Okay. Alright, so here's some little bit more, and more. Let's see here, we got all kinds of stuff here. Normally our wine rack's much more fuller, but wife's in the States, so we have not been buying much wine. You see these a lot. These are pretty old little souvenirs here. Big wine bowl, punch bowl things. There's a little city here called Rudesheim, which is like real close to us, which is world famous for, has an alley called Dasselgas Alley. I'm messing that up, I know, but it's got tons. It's world famous for wine. They've been making wine here since the Romans. That's how long this place has been around. My German walking stick. Every time you go to a new city and you complete a Volksmarch or you're marching a long way, you get one of these little emblems on your walking stick. Of course, I have tons of glassware. Down here, these are the what's known as the best beer in the world, a West Valletta 12. and they're an expensive beer, so a case will run you several $100s. The beers are normally about $14-15 per beer to get them here locally. So not a cheap hobby to get into, but very good. What can I say? Here, me and my wife had gone to a brewery and actually became like brewer masters, I guess you could say. You had to take a quiz and learn all this stuff about brewing beer. It's called Greasebow Brewery. There's another growler from it. This is Zugspitz beer, very good beer. It's from the highest mountain in Germany. Company manufactures beer for them. So just, not everything, but you could just kind of get a glimpse of some of the new things that we like to collect. Sometimes it's fun to collect different things and take a little hiatus from what you're normally collecting, like video games, and do something different. And this is definitely something our whole family can enjoy, going around and finding new things, finding interesting things, finding historic things. So I think that's it. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you guys later.